Welcome back. You're watching Weekend Live. Well, the new year often brings New Year's resolutions, but after another challenging 12 months, many of us are likely just to be happy putting 2021 behind us. Joining me live now is Ros Ben-Moshe, an adjunct lecturer at La Trobe University's School of Psychology and Public Health. Ros, thanks very much for your time today. What lessons have you taken from 2021?
Get too attached to plans, that's for sure. And I think it's really important to celebrate the small things that actually go well, you know, the plans that actually do come to fruition, the times you do spend with your loved ones, you know, just to celebrate just the small things. And the more you can sort of celebrate these sort of micro moments of joy, the more joyful you overall become.
Are you a believer in New Year's resolutions, and how do you set realistic ones?
Yeah, it's a good point. I am, because I think there's something very powerful about new beginnings. And I mean, theoretically, anybody can sort of start with a new beginning at any time of the year, but it's much easier when it actually coincides with the beginning of a new calendar year. So I think it's really important to get a combination of doing resolutions and being resolutions. And what I mean by that is there are some things like, for example, you know, losing those COVID kilos or, you know, perhaps, you know, reducing alcohol consumption. That's sort of more of the doing side. But then there's more of the being resolutions. So that might be, you know, wanting to be, you know, kinder, to become more grateful, to be able to sort of upregulate some of those more positive emotions and how you can sort of set clear New Year's resolutions to enable that. So it's important to get but not to get too many that you actually spread yourself too thin and nothing actually changes.
So what resolutions are you taking into the new year?
I just think really appreciating my loved ones. Like at the moment, you know, my son's got COVID. I haven't seen him for a week. He doesn't live with me. So, you know, it's just, you know, things and people we tend to take for granted. So for me, it's really about growing gratitude, really counting your blessings, counting my blessings on a daily basis. And really, as I say, being grateful for the many, many small, wondrous things in our day that we don't necessarily take time to appreciate. And the more we can focus on these small things, these micro moments of joy, these things that we're grateful for, the more those things will fill our day and the less disappointments we will have about the things that don't necessarily, you know, go to plan, or the things that, you know, don't pan out as we had hoped for.
Firstly, I hope your son is okay whilst he's got COVID at the moment.
Thank you.
Okay, good to hear. Now, we know that after what's been quite a challenging couple of years, it can be really tough to keep that positive mindset. A lot of us are very exhausted.
Yes.
How do you try to keep that, or is it okay to not always try to be happy?
It is absolutely okay to always not be happy. It's not realistic. I mean, human beings are filled with a whole spectrum of emotion, from the more uplifting for the, you know, and the less ones. It's really important to tune into and make an intentional practice of identifying, you know, people, places and activities that really buoy your spirits, you know, really uplift you. And rather than waiting for them to happen by chance, actually building them into your daily life. So, you know, whether that's, you know, time out in nature, whether that's connecting to someone, even overseas, you know, relationships, connectivity is really important to human flourishing. So, you know, how are you going to be able to, you know, connect to loved ones during this time? And I think one of the key messages is to be kind to yourself, and to understand we're all sort of, you know, flawed human beings. We're works in progress, and to be less sort of, I suppose, obsessed by perfection and things always, you know, just, you know, clicking our fingers and everything just being as we would like. So it's about adopting more of a patient and kind and realistic view of ourselves, and that helps sort of nurture that sort of sense of self-care. So rather than putting ourselves down when we don't feel that we've performed as well as we have, you know, we should be on our own side, cheering ourselves on.
Well, Ros, it's a fairly good message to take into 2022. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Thank you so much.
To other news now, and a man has been injured after falling out of a window at a unit complex in Sydney's eastern suburbs. Emergency services attended the scene in Kingsford around 2 this morning after neighbours raised the alarm. It's thought the man fell from a third-level window onto concrete. He was treated at the scene and taken to hospital for further treatment.